Hi, this is Elitom, El-amin, Breatharian.
Hello everyone, this is Cristiana Eltrayan.
And today we're going to talk about our relationship to other sentient beings, which is very important because we live on this nice, beautiful planet, but we got to keep in mind that there's other beings that live here also. And keep in mind, too, that everybody and everything wants to live good lives. Why? Because even a mosquito or a fly don't want to be killed, don't want to be hurt. This is why they flee from being killed or hurt. Even a tree, plants, they all look to strive towards the sun. So everything looks to have a good, happy life. And we're talking from our center today because not only we want to live good lives, we want to make sure that everything around us thrive and have the same compassion going on so we can live in one big happy heaven.
And also because we're here at the Sariska National Park in India, which is protected reserve where tigers and peacocks and deers and all kind of wildlife are protected and allowed to live in freedom. And it's so interesting to notice like the way they intermingle their own lives with ours. Like for example, this morning we had a peacock. I had a peacock on my porch waking me up, and it was like he was setting up my alarm. And monkeys the other day just came to me and stole my
Oh, he stole your bag from
my
you.
bag of offerings from the temple. And we had so many adventures here by living with these beautiful creatures and allowing them to be a part of our lives, and how peacefully they share with us and how beautifully they intermingle their lives with ours. And once you start looking at them as brothers and sisters and see how they are bringing new stuff into your life by their emanation, by their frequency, then you can see their role in our lives,
Oh, absolutely.
and that they're all a part of a very intricate but accurate system that is built to help us thrive. And we are to collaborate with them and not try to control them, use them, or kill them for our benefit.
Oh,
That's the
absolutely.
main message.
Because they got families too, brothers, sisters, if we want to look at it like that. But there's a big thing that's going on too now dealing with vegetarianism and veganism.
Yeah.
Now, on one level, we talk about the health aspects. Stop getting those heavy foods on your system. And statistically, people who do get off of meats into a lighter diet have better improved health. But also on a moral level, as we're talking about how these other beings are here, they're evolving also. There's a lot that's taking place with this on that affects our character, on the energy that comes off of us when we take part in really enslaving these animals, raping them, putting them in concentration camps, and just using them as a product instead of other life forms.
That's very important also in terms of the relationships aspect.
Right.
So we said in previous videos that relationships can be nourishing or detracting in our lives. And mainly people thought we're talking about only relationships with other fellow human beings.
Right.
But let's think and look at the relationships we have with other species. When we look at this planet and the majority on it, I think we should, oh no, it's okay. We see that literally we're not the majority species on the planet.
Exactly.
The animal kingdom is composed of the majority of numbers. So what we want to be is we want to be in a harmonious relationship with this kingdom, because we're on their territory in some way, or numbers wise they're much more than us. And we have to think of the harmony that we are to install on this planet. If we want to live in harmony on this planet, we have to live in harmony with the species that are most numerous, right?
Well,
With the animal kingdom.
it, right. And energetically, I'm going to tell you something that I observed myself. One time I actually had this community center, this building, and I actually rented out this room to different groups. And there was this one group that came in that everybody was like, meat eaters and stuff like this. And it was amazing that every time they had a meeting, there was more arguments, more disagreements. And I'm observing this just being watching the meetings go. There was also vegetarian groups came in and groups who had more of a user-friendly diet, going more live and raw foods, and they had less arguments. So I began to see that how catering to eating those denser foods on our other sentient beings like that. Yes, plants and stuff are living beings too, but there is a difference between cutting up a rabbit and cutting up a piece of lettuce.
And also, it's very important to look at this not only from the perspective of the frequency, but also from the perspective of what you emanate out that comes back to you.
Right,
So yes, it's important what frequency the food is when you put it in your body. But what was more important to look at, and not many people look at this, what is the root frequency that the action of using another animal, another being, what is the root frequency of that brings into your life? You know, you were talking about the people who were meat eaters having more conflicts.
right.
Yes, because they live in some ways in the energy of conflict, in the frequency of conflict. Why? Because they're in conflict with other species, first of all.
Absolutely.
So the energy of conflict is there from the first root decision of using another species for their benefit or pleasure.
Creating a
So
karma.
that's, well, you could call it that. Of course, the law of cause and effect is in place and it is acting, and you get an effect from using another person or being, be it four-legged or two-legged.
Right.
You get an end result into your life.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
people do not see it when you get to a supermarket and you buy a chicken. You don't see the root action that has generated you to have that chicken on your table.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
the root action is that somebody has killed it for you.
Right.
And once you pick it up and you make this decision, you are instantly resonating with that root cause and bringing it into your life.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
eventually, someone, in other terms, is gonna use you.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
do not be upset if in your life you have conflicts, you have states of anger or disharmony, you have aspects that are not working so well. Because at some point we have to align ourselves to the frequency of harmony, and that starts from our relationships, and it starts from the relationship with other species, the ones that are in majority,
Oh,
which
absolutely.
is the animal kingdom.
And see, it is so good too. I mean, it's sort of like I had a dog one time. Now, people is used to having dogs and cats, but they don't look at a cow or the chicken as being a pet. But when you really get to know these animals, it's sort of like at a slaughterhouse.
Exactly.
They'll tell them don't become close to the animals because they all have their own personalities. It's amazing.
Yes.
And you can actually get attached to them. But they don't want you to get attached to them because these beings, you wouldn't want to be in that same predicament if there was an alien race that was harvested us. And to think of it on that type of level, I mean, that's where you start exercising a form of compassion. And this energy of compassion actually comes off of you because remember what I said again. If everything wants to be alive, that means this atmosphere we live in this universe and this creation strives for life. It wants to live. It don't want to die.
Yeah.
So right there is a frequency or vibration that speaks for itself.
So the moment you choose to use another being as food, you are trespassing their own will to live.
Absolutely.
You're trespassing their own free will. You're trespassing their own choice of being on this planet to learn and grow as you are, and you are trespassing their spirit. And once you're trespassing that, you will be trespassed because the law of cause and effect is ever operating on this
Right.
3D world and
And-
in other worlds too.
And that's why, see, look at this. In the first world countries, we got this thing called preventable diseases. high blood pressure, cancer, strokes, diabetes. And the first thing the doctor asks you, what have you been eating? Okay, now, and 20 years ago when I went to the doctor's office, they still had the traditional food pyramid. But lately when I went there, they had the food pyramid up, but it had the meatless diet. So humanity is changing and catching up. Now, since I do my YouTube channel deals with breatharianism, this is great that this evolution is here. Because what this is showing you, we can make a plan, and we're smarter than this. We can actually leave other life forms alone so they can evolve, just like we're taking part in our evolution.
Yeah. And we can go even further with this, not only not eating them,
Right.
that would be the first step in our evolution towards a civilized relationship with this planet. Not only not eating them, but also the way we are treating them. Like,
Oh, absolutely.
you want freedom. You feel you're entitled to walk around free wherever you want to go. You feel you're entitled to choose your job. You feel you're entitled to make as many children as you want. You feel you're entitled to choose your clothing and shelter. Well, so are they. And if they're entitled to choose their shelter, you're not meant to put them in cages. You're not meant to put them in slaughterhouses.
Right.
And you're not meant to breed them in ways that will bring a more advanced species or a more a species that gives more milk or whatever. You're not meant to do that. The universe has already done this for you. And all you gotta do is chill out and watch them
Right.
be on this planet along with you and treat them as family. Because they are our family and their spirits came here to help us a lot. And the point where you're looking at now, seeing them as your property
Right.
or means of survival, is just not as evolved as it could be.
But in a nutshell, okay, we're talking about not messing with the animals, but this is what it boils down to. If you really want to help yourself, this is the path to take by letting other things live. And you should have something in your mind that says, as long as my feet are standing on the ground, not only I'm going to strive to live the best life for myself possible, I want everything to thrive around me and live this good, beautiful life.
That would be awesome. And so it be, and so it be, and so it be, and so it is.
So right now we're going to go to more into the jungle, and we'll be talking more about this. So just stay tuned on the next clip.
See you soon.